show now. Let's go. Basketball.
Hello, what's up, guys? I don't know what is going on. I apologize. My music has all been kind of messed up. I am so sorry. What is there's a reverb. Sorry about that. Trying to figure out where that reverb is coming from. Good Lord Almighty. Hope you guys are doing all right out there, man. And yeah, it's crazy stuff. Mix and minus. Let's go there. I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm a little discombobulated. I apologize. Welcome into Sports Bytes Podcast. And this is my Reaction Monday show. As you can hear, my voice is still a little bit scratchy. It's still a little bit garbled up. And Harry James Taylor, brother, what is up, Harry James Taylor? That man, that makes me good to see you, brother. For those that don't know, Harry James Taylor is a Oklahoma legend, guys. When I was doing radio out there, I was doing radio out there. Man, oh Harry, he would show up everywhere. Our Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, he is a diehard Sooner fan through and through. Good to see. Legend is overrated. uh, now he's trying to become famous on the Paul Feinbaum show. But I got some tea. As you can hear, I went down to Auburn this weekend, guys. My first experience going to an SEC football game, and I absolutely loved it. Terry, how you doing, brother? Terry, I want to say this. I want to commend Terry. Congratulations to Terry on being outstanding gentleman because not many people now make bets and keep their word. But Terry, you were a man of word, and that says a lot about you. I hope you're doing all right today. Yeah, a lot of fun. I can't wait for today. Talk about what's going on with. Hey, how you doing, brother? Everybody hop on in and share. Let's talk some about all now I'll say this. I'm not one that likes to just dissect the box score, right? Tune in, buddy. Like, hey, that's my boy Jerry. What's up, buddy? From Oklahoma. Got some Oklahoma people in here. I've got some tea going because my voice is hoarse from the Oklahoma game this weekend. I've got AJ Hester coming on to talk a little bit about um, what's going on down in Auburn. He's a big Auburn guy, covers Auburn for us here at the College Football Dogs. But now there's something more important um, going on. Matt, how you doing, sir? Yeah, you're right. Rip Pete Rose, man. Pete Rose had a UMass lose to Miami, Ohio. Oh God, ugh, that's why I don't play. But I'll tell you this: there's a lot more important things going on right now. As I was getting ready for last weekend, I was saying, man, I Hurricanes. They how about the Kentucky Wildcats? That yeah, yeah. And last true freshman on the road before Michael Hawkins on the road. It's probably Jamel, last one to win on the road. Holloway. But a lot happening in America right now. I was worried about the Hurricanes, and everyone thinks, well, it missed the football. Everybody's okay, but that's not the case. And I don't think there's enough being said or being done about what's going on in the East Coast right now. And joining me now, I'm bringing him in, man. We got Andrew. He is the host of the one of the hosts of the College Sports Films. I tell everybody, hey, love the show, but don't show up there thin skinned because they they might they might get under your skin a little bit, but it's still just at the end of the day, it's talking ball and having a good time. But that's what makes it fun. They're called the villains for a reason, So if you got some thin skin, I don't recommend you go over there. If you want some good football talk, just some good old well, sometimes it's clean, but they just have some fun. But Andrew kind of firsthand experiencing what's going on, after the hurricane, massive floods, everything like that. But, Andrew, just tell everybody kinda what's going on.
So, so where I'm at in South Carolina, we lost power Friday, and literally just got power back on about an hour ago. We didn't have cell service. It was completely out. You couldn't make a text, a call. It was, all the stores are closed. There's no power, no gas anywhere. And where I work is an hour from Asheville, and they had people coming down into South Carolina because all of Asheville's flooded. They have 1,000 people missing in that town alone. It was we were not prepared for what happened. Is really how it boils down. We've been I've been fortunate enough to have some food, and I have a grill and I have charcoal, so we were able to eat and all that. But if you just drive up the road when the lights are out and everybody's outside and it's hot in the south, right? So
Yeah.
it's just burning up, and it's a sad side to see. But the community here all came together. I was in a grocery store Saturday, and I seen people help people load stuff in their cars. I seen them handing them stuff like, "Hey, will you hand me that water?" I sure will. Let me put it in your buggy for you. So I saw the best of people. So that was a really good sign for what we're up to here. But yeah, it was going to your car and and then I have kids, so they're bored out of their mind, right? And they can't have anything to eat because everything in the fridge and the freezer is gone. You can only get whatever places were open, and it was pretty. We were done, and I was very happy when the power came back on today. You know what I mean? So it was a nice, no
Ooh,
communications either, Chris. Like I tell
I'm
you,
having huge reverb.
what's that?
I I don't know what's going on, man. I've got some bad reverb coming around, man. I got some huge reverb coming around. I can barely like everything's echoing.
It sounds good on this end, but I can't tell you what it sounds like online. People watching the show.
Right, right. Uh,
I'm trying to pull it up.
yeah, that's just I don't know. I'm trying to look at where the audio is having issues and stuff, but um, yeah, that's it's kind of bothersome. Let's see. I'm trying to get through here. I apologize, guys. Just hang with me for a little bit, and we'll try to get this all worked out, man. I got people over here, watching. uh, James says all clear here, all clear, old buddy.
Yeah, it
Um,
it sounds good. I've got it pulled up on my phone right now.
now it sounds good. I don't know what was going on. We got a reverb, but Andrew, for I'm going to restart just kind of to say where are you exactly at, so people know where you're at.
So I'm in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, now did you guys take a direct hit, or was it more of just the rain and everything that's been going on?
No, no, we took a direct hit. The eye of the storm came through here. We lost in Asheville, North Carolina. They got it worse. They have 1,000 people missing there currently.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's awful. Like I-40 was flooded. It looked like a river. Here we were out power. We were without powers or cell service since Friday. And what I mean by cell service is like you couldn't make a text or a phone call at all. Like it was just
Wow.
gone. No stores were open. Gas stations that did have power, like they were literally lined miles up the road just to get gas. And
I got you.
And so point of reference, my neighbor, my next door neighbor right over here, she's 85, and a power line snapped and landed in her yard and caught her yard on fire.
Oh
And
my goodness.
the fire department came and put it out, but the power company never came, and they're like, we're just too spread thin, we can't make it over there. So
Right.
and they are spread thin, like some millions and millions of people are without power, you know what I mean? So I'm very thankful to them who are out there 24/7, working on the infrastructure. But we got power back about an hour ago, Chris, and it went out Friday.
I know you got kids, man. How'd that go?
They were bored out of their mind, brother. They could only eat, we'd had to go whatever was open, grab some chips or something, because everything in the fridge and freezer, ruined, can't eat it.
Sure, yeah.
Drink it. They didn't have a cold drink. Like, bro, I didn't have a cup of coffee for like 3 days, and like,
Oh, see, yeah, that'd be a problem here.
no, I went back to work today, and it's the first time since the storm and all that. I went straight back into the break room, man. I drank like 4 cups of coffee. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just like I just give me coffee, man. And but yeah,
Jamie says, glad you're okay now.
Thank you. I have a wife and
Yes,
4
sir.
kids in this house, and one of them's a 3-year-old. Like I said, my neighbor's 85 years old. She lives by herself. And you think about all the elderly people and handicapped people
Right.
over this vast area, especially Asheville, that have no access. Like Asheville, they couldn't even get to you. Like the emergency, they couldn't do nothing. It was so flooded. You just had to ride it out. And, that's awful when you think about it. I am a Christian man. I make no bones about it, even though I'm villains on my show and every show with John Creasy.
Right.
So I'm praying for these people, and I'm praying for my family, and I'm praying for
Sure.
the lady next door. And as bad as it was here, and it was bad, it was scary. Like no power, no cell service. The fact that you couldn't text her, I had to drive into town to call my mom. My mom is 67 years old. My dad's 72. They don't have power. I drove in town every day to get signal and call them, make sure they were okay. And they were, tough people they are.
Right.
But yeah, that's how bad. But like today, like cell service is fully back. I'm at home right now. Wi-Fi is back on, power's on. And I couldn't be more grateful to the Lord. Couldn't be more grateful to all those people that are out there in the middle of the night. And people are mean too. So you never know. You're
Right.
on power line, somebody's gonna run up and rob you. Just it's more brave than you think for these people to get out there and do this stuff. And you never know when a live wire is going to snap, a rainstorm is going to come up. Like we truly need to be thanking these people. They really are heroes.
Right.
It's a dangerous profession.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because I have family in West Virginia, and like southern West Virginia. My grandfather's 89 and he doesn't have power right now, and he talked to my mom and he made the joke. He said, I'm okay. I drove into town to Bob Evans to get some biscuits and gravy, but it was like an hour and a half wait because they actually had power there. But you're seeing all this stuff through North Carolina. I just saw Sunbelt Syndicate post some of the Instagram stories, TikToks from what's going on there in Boone at Appalachian State. I mean, and it's catastrophic right now. And I think, and not making it light because everyone that lost their life, but you're saying it was kind of like Katrina-like damage. And the one thing I love about America, and coming from Oklahoma, I saw it a lot after tornadoes and natural disasters and stuff like that, people coming together and helping take care of them. And this, I want to give you this. Do you feel that they're doing enough right now to help everybody out in that area? Because from what I'm seeing and I'm hearing from people out there, that there's not a lot of help right now.
So in Asheville, because I work an hour from Asheville, so I have a lot of people down there at my work that drove down from Asheville, but that you can't do nothing. But you can't cross this water.
Okay.
But here, catastrophic. Millions of people in the upstate of South Carolina, and there's only millions of people, right? Like South Carolina's not a big place, so like everybody was out power. Yeah, they did a lot, bro. You seen power companies out there every day.
Okay.
your local Walmarts were out there giving out food and water.
Okay,
The
that's
veterans
good.
were out here getting hot showers. All the churches were like, "Hey, I got hot dogs. I got showers. Come out here."
Awesome. That's good to
I was
hear.
at the grocery store the other day, called Quality Foods here, and all the people were helping each other load their buggies, load their cars.
Good.
They were like, "Hey, will you hand me that?" "Yeah, bro, I got you." It was really, really good to see the community come together. Even the churches, the local businesses. Yeah, they did a lot for everybody here. I
Good.
can't agree with that. Whatever's happening
Okay.
elsewhere, but here they did really good about helping each other, and I'm very proud of the community.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Now, do you know of any way that, people can kind of help, any place to call, any place to do anything to, somebody wants to help donate or do anything?
It honestly, if you want to help donate, like, and it's money you want to donate to, I would, we live in the area of social media, right? I would get online and see which churches are doing a lot, like Townville Baptist Church every day, food, shower,
Sure.
donate to them, donate to the people that are out there helping, send them the money. They'll go out and do the right thing. Oakdale Baptist Church is another one that does a fantastic job of showers, food, drink, whatever you need, right? And that would be my suggestion. Like, look online,
Yep.
see who's really doing the work out there, and then donate to them if that's what you want to do.
Awesome. Well, man, I know it's been tough. You probably didn't get to watch much football this weekend, but I know there's some more important things that have been happening in your world, man. But as far as we're concerned, glad your wife, your kids are okay. Glad everybody's okay there, and
So I will tell you, so South Carolina was off, right? So I didn't
yeah.
miss the South Carolina game, but
Right.
I'm a fan, right? So we were out in the car charging the phone, and we have YouTube TV, and so we have no power.
It's so great. I love YouTube TV.
Right. So she put it on. So it was framing, like it would stop and then we get to watch it for 10 seconds, then it would cut out for 10 seconds. But we sat out in the car and we spent some time together with the kids, and we
Good.
all watched Alabama and Georgia, spotty and choppy, but it was really cool. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch any other football, and that's okay. I had bigger things to deal with that day, but I will next week, assuming the power stays on. And my parents, they live out in the middle of nowhere, and they were told today that it may be a month before theirs is on because
Oh
the
my
demand is
goodness.
so bad. Yeah.
Damn. I know the longest I was ever without power when I was in Oklahoma, there was an ice storm that came through, freezing rain, and I lived in Norman, kind of old houses, a lot of trees, and the power lines snapped, and I think it was 16 days without power.
Yeah.
Luckily, in that case, though, because it was still so cold, we could just put the food and everything outside, and we didn't lose anything.
Right.
But it's September in the South, so
Right.
it's humid and sticky, and now
Oh,
you got to worry about bugs and all that other crap.
man, I was trying to sleep last night and the night before. Man, it's so hot in here, and like I slept an hour and a half, and then I went and worked all day today.
Yeah.
But I grew up without central heat and air. Like I'm older. I know you really can't tell it looking at me, but I got a kid that's 27, man. I'm old. So, back in the early 80s and really into the mid 90s, houses just didn't come with central heat and air. It wasn't
No.
a thing. And so,
Open the windows and get the fans on.
right. So I was kind of used to it, right? So I'm like, I'll be fine. I did it. I did it my whole childhood till I was 20. I'm good. Man, I tell you what, that first bead of sweat started coming out. I'm like, oh God. So, but
Well, just so you know, there's a guy back he's watching named Harry James Taylor, big Oklahoma fan. He says, I see you're a Gamecock fan. Be happy to see you guys in 3 weeks.
yeah. So I have no idea. I'm a salary at my company, so my days off are predetermined, are not predetermined, so I have no idea if I'll even be off. I hope so. But I can't wait to watch that game. I'm looking forward to it.
It
First time
was
I've ever been to Oklahoma. I've watched games at Oklahoma before. I'm a big
right.
football fan, but to watch your team go in there, you start really paying attention to the things. And I'm excited. Even if I'm at work, I'm gonna have my phone on.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And after this weekend, me taking my family down to Auburn to get to experience the first actual SEC conference game, and it's just like, my kid was blown away. He's so ready to see. He's like, what next game? And he knows about Sandstorm. He goes, are we going to go see where they do Sandstorm? I was like, yes, sir. Next year, Oklahoma goes to South Carolina. And he's like, okay, we're going to that. But I will say, I don't know if you saw the highlight. I got to throw it up here real quick.
The much needed stop. Thorne. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Lewis. Kip Lewis. Could he? My oh my. Pick six.
So that's why my voice sounds like this now, because up until that point, after the first play, when Michael Hawkins took, well, I say first play, first drive, they got a first down. Then it was 3rd and 5, and he takes off on a 48-yard touchdown run. And I'm going, okay. Oh, here we go. Because we made them 3 and out. They punted, get the ball. We go down, score. Here he is, true freshman playing on the road, all this. Hey, Emily, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad everything's getting better for you.
Oh, yes, me too.
I know the power and getting AC back on, I'm sure that's helping you get some rest.
Yes.
It's terrible. But, going out there, man, Auburn should have won that football game.
So it was weird.
Should have won that football game.
I caught some highlights later. It was weird that they would be throwing in that situation anyway. Run the ball.
Yes.
Your defense has been great. It was odd, but you know what? That's the fraud that Freeze is, and Peyton Thorne's a fraud, and you just run the ball and you play defense. Your defense has been lights out all game. Why would you take that risk that late in the game and you're winning? Makes no sense. But Freeze is a fraud, and I just don't like the guy. You know what I mean?
If you get a chance to go back and watch, there's a point to where Hugh Freeze undresses Peyton Thorne on the sideline. And from that moment on, because up until that point, now the scores that he made, he was making good throws. He was being decisive. I'm like, who is this guy playing quarterback? And then I can't remember what play it was. He did something. And then on the sideline, you see Hugh Freeze is just having a come apart on him. And from that time on, he wasn't accurate. And they ran. If you get a chance to watch it, go back and watch Kip, the guy who actually makes the interception, damn near falls backwards, backing out of that sim pressure, and it's just funny how it goes in, but we're yelling and screaming and he finally, Michael Hawkins, and I'm sorry for Jackson Arnold, but that's Michael Hawkins' football team right now.
Well,
it's Michael Hawkins' football team.
It is. Here, Peyton Thorne, I mean, he's got all the weapons he needs, offensive line.
He does.
But
it's a good offense.
Not a good quarter. And here's the problem I have. Since the Oklahoma show, so I'm gonna give you my assessment of it. Oklahoma is a good football team. Oklahoma is not a great football team.
No.
That's the difference that Oklahoma need. Oklahoma is going to take some losses down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'll be the first one to admit during the game, I'm like, shit, it's 21-7. I was like, we may only beat Maine this year, because for all of us, and you and I talked, and for all of us thinking, well, South Carolina, that we're going to chalk that up a win. South Carolina is a really damn good football team that shouldn't have losses on their record. I mean, watching the games, they shouldn't have losses. They do, but that defense coming in to play that offensive line is going to give Oklahoma problems. So, I mean, it's not a, hey, Oklahoma's going to win that game anymore. South Carolina's going to come and they're going to play their tails off.
Here's and this isn't the fan in me that, because I'm the first one to call out any team like you see on Villains. I torch South Carolina too. I'm equal.
Sure.
So South Carolina should have, without the refs, because South Carolina doesn't have a name. If LSU's playing Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma that day, those calls don't get called because they're fake calls, right? So South Carolina beats LSU by 20 points easy without the refs. Easy, right? The problem that, they take a loss. The problem for the rest of the teams they play down the stretch, this is still the same team. Even though the refs stole the game, they're still that good on defense. Lenore Sellers is still that surprisingly good.
Rocket Sanders and even Worry. I mean, there's some studs on that team.
Right. You look at it, and then Mazio Bennett Jr., a true freshman, They're just torching people.
Right. Yeah.
South Carolina's going to win a lot of football games. So South Carolina, it's at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is at South Carolina this week. They're a 9-point favorite. I will tell you, Kentucky was able to get to Jackson Dart pretty easily, and South Carolina's defense is way better than Kentucky's.
I agree. I agree with that.
So
I told everyone in the stadium, I was like, hey, Kentucky beat Ole Miss, so at least there's hope. There's hope. And with Oklahoma now, you've got an off week, rest up, heal up. Then you got probably will be number 1 Texas, and that's always crazy, no matter how good or bad either team is. And then you got South, which I was surprised, and you and I talked before. I was surprised to hear on the local station out there. I was listening to my guys that I used to work with, and South Carolina actually returned some tickets. And I was surprised because when I had the guy on from the 2-4 flight from Columbia to Oklahoma City, to get people there. But I was kind of surprised. They're like, yeah, some tickets just became available because of, visitor returns. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. I don't know how many, but I didn't expect that.
But yeah, South Carolina travels very well.
That's what I thought.
The problem I think right now for going that far is, and the economy is hit people really hard. So
absolutely
spending $200.
And then now you got this situation going on.
Right. $200 for a ticket at Oklahoma, $200 round trip for your airfare, $300, $400, $500, $600 for your hotel. Like it's not in the cards for people right now. It's not a small investment, right? And I think that's what we're seeing with stuff like that, because you're seeing it all over the country. Like Clemson travels very well. They're not taking a lot of people to Florida State, even though they're going to slaughter them. It's just the economy, I think. South Carolina is going to beat Ole Miss. I
wouldn't be surprised.
It's at home. It's at South Carolina. And unless they just pull a LSU where they just continuously cheat the whole game, I don't think LSU can beat South Carolina. I just, defensive-wise, if Kentucky confused them so much, what is Emanwari going to do? What is Dylan Stewart going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's counteract that.
And I think Beamer's done a really good job kind of rebounding, and that team's going to be a lot of fun, man. But Andrew, I appreciate it, brother. I hope everything gets better for you out there. And like you said, Cox by 90, right?
Cox by 90 always. If you're on my TikTok or College Sports Villains,
Tell everybody where they can see your stuff at, man.
You can catch me on X at USC Fan 981, Facebook College Sports Villains. That's the big dog for me. I just really started TikTok. It's at USC Fan 981 too, but it seems to be doing really well. I have one today that reached 27,000. So
nice, brother. Good job.
I'm 2 weeks in, so maybe there's a market for a guy like me there. Who knows?
Just keep plugging away, man. If you need anything, let us know, brother.
All right, thanks, man.
Take it easy. That's Andrew Anderson of the College Sports Villains. Like I said, a lot of fun, but don't show up there with thin skin because he's going to rub you the wrong way. Get to some of these comments real quick. Vandy Chris, congrats on OU in the first SEC win, especially with a vastly undermanned team. Yeah, that's, the kicker going out with appendicitis, Chris, the top 5 receivers down, freshman running back out, true freshman on the road. And I've got AJ getting ready to come on. I'm going to talk to him about the environment. A big Auburn fan. I had a great time over there. My man, Harry James Taylor out in Oklahoma. I'll take that over. Texas is back. Yeah. Vandy, what do you think? What do you make of the things Bo Wallace had to say about Hugh Freeze last week? I know Bo. I know what he has been through as a result of what Freeze put him through. I brought that up to some people, Chris, and I'm glad you brought it up because, he even, said, hey, people are going to say he's out there drunk, tweeting, doing this stuff. But he basically said that he's, blown out because of Hugh Freeze and that he's done it to all his quarterbacks. And, I don't know. But I'm talking to the people down there at Auburn. They really, I'd say it's 50-50 on Hugh. But that was before the game. After the game, I'm sure that number dipped a little bit. Let's see. Big Dog Rum on Outside Perspective. Can OU win the Red River War? Harry, I'm going to tell you this. The fan of me, you always have a chance. You always have a chance. I can't wait to see what they could do. A couple more weeks. You got to get players healthy. Danny Stutzman didn't look right. You know, get some more continuity with the line. Maybe you get, Deion Burke back. You get Andrew Anthony back. You get Taylor Tatum back. And you start to put a little bit more offense into what Michael Hawkins can do. But I'll say this, and I'm going to bring my man AJ in right now. Huge Auburn fan. And we texted a little bit back and forth during the game. But I want to start off by saying this. Thank you, Auburn fans. It was an unbelievable experience. My son, it's his first college football game ever. He's got his OU stuff on, and we're walking. He looks at me, he goes, "Everybody's so nice here." And I was like, yeah. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if you've had a chance to be there. We need to get some seed money and open up university stations everywhere across America, because University Station, that RV resort there in Auburn, was one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced. It's a community. It's not like a KOA campground or nothing like it's a community to where people have built tiny houses. They have, everything. There's food trucks everywhere. We were at the picture I sent you that night. They had a live band concert who was just having it was amazing, but everybody was so welcome. There wasn't, of course, me, I'm wearing my Oklahoma stuff out there. And everyone's like, "Hey, welcome to Auburn. You want a drink?" I had a bottle of whiskey with me. I was like, I'm good, but do you want a drink of this? But everybody was just amazing. And to see, and my sister and brother-in-law have that place down there, and talking to them, there's so many people that go even on off weekends just because that's their community. Just their community. And there's a gas station. I don't know if you ever seen the Big Cat Cafe. Yeah. The most amazing breakfast I've ever had in my life. Now, some of it could have been that I had a few whiskeys the night before, but amazing breakfast. The night before at the Auburn Country Club, amazing dinner. They call it the Bourbon Street pasta that had scallops and shrimp that were the size of a baby fist. Just unreal. But that university, that experience made Auburn fans out of my family.
Dude, that's what I was so excited for. I told my dad about it, so I was watching the game with, and obviously it didn't go the way that I would have liked it, but you got the perfect experience as a visiting fan. Not only was the crowd in it the whole time, you could hear it on the TV that the crowd was in it the entire time. Yeah. You had great seats, everything. Like you got all the experience, the playing before, the night before, the playing during the day, got the best Auburn experience possible, and you came out with the victory in the game. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Like that was a big thing. I thought about it all week, and I was really excited for you to go.
The only thing I'll say that was a little cringe is the guy that came out and was doing all the cheers before the game that sounds like an A&M yell leader. I was like, but everybody in the stands did the cheers with him. Where we were sitting, Independence, the bald eagle took off right above our head. And I don't care who you are, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
it was freaking awesome.
My favorite Eagle story is I took my Bammer wife to an Auburn game. We were sitting in the student section, and that was the game that whichever Eagle was flying flew into one of the press boxes.
Oh,
and of course, that's what would happen when I bring this Alabama grad to sit in the student section. But yeah, it's an experience. All of that is an experience. I think there's an anniversary recently of a West Virginia game that I was in the stands for, where the student section stayed throughout the rain and, sang all the traditional rain songs that you sing at football games, and just jumped around and played until they finally were like, "Hey, it's lightning, guys. Like get out of here.
You gotta go." Yeah.
But that, that's what it is. It's a family, everybody makes fun of the Auburn family, but as a member, it's awesome. And I love it. And, I'm glad that you got to experience that, because that's all I, since from the time I was a little kid, going as a fan with my dad,
right.
Being there and going as a student and just enjoying it as an adult now. It's special. It's a really special place to be.
And like I said, I've been to a lot of places when I was covering the University of Oklahoma. I've been to a lot of games. traveled, around. And like I said, I'll keep bringing it up. University Station. If anybody's listening and you're going to come to Auburn, if you got an RV, you need to check that place out. There's people selling merch. There's jerseys being sold. There was a milkshake food truck. There was barbecue, and then of course the band singing. I was like, hey, is there any Oklahoma people out here? The only one. I'm like, me. So I hold up a bottle of whiskey and they're like, hey, welcome. Hope you're having a great time. This is for y'all. And they played the Toby Keith song that Oklahoma does, before the fourth quarter now, which was really cool. But again, and I feel bad talking about the game. There were some Auburn fans sitting right in front of us. And before the pick six, I literally said, man, we need Peyton to throw it to us right now. The play happens, and the guy kind of turns around and looks at me, and I was like, brother, I'm sorry. He's like, I've been waiting for it all day. Just it's happened now. But talk a little bit about what you saw. You and I have talked a lot about football. You like to study concepts, coaching theories, play, quarterback, stuff like that. Up until that point, that was the best I've seen Peyton Thorne look, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely it was. He was making all the correct reads, and the ball was coming out of his hand real pretty and landing exactly where we needed it to go.
He was talking a little trash. And, okay.
Well, and the entire team just seemed to it felt, I was listening to Josh Pate talk earlier, and he said, at 21-7, he's like, well, I think this game's, it's ball game. I think that Auburn has it and go for Auburn. And I think that my dad and I were kind of like that too. And I'm a very pessimistic fan. Like nothing for me is ever solid. But throughout that game, I was like, I think that we have this. And, other than when Hawkins broke that early touchdown run, Auburn kind of was in control of the game. And it was all Peyton. I've been screaming for weeks now that to hand the ball to Hunter, Jarquez Hunter.
And why they stopped, I don't know. He was... he was just like body blow. And you could tell the Oklahoma defense is tired because in the first half, 16 first downs for Auburn, 4 for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I sent you that message, only 6 players. And I had to go back to look. Only 6 players from Oklahoma registered an offensive stat.
That Auburn did everything correctly that they had to do to win, other than the singular play that flipped it on its head. And Hugh said it, I think yesterday or today, he's like, that's not that's on me because I put Peyton in that position to make that decision. I'm like, yeah, bud, yeah, you did. I understand the RPO. I think that where we are in football, that if you don't have some sort of run pass option in that in your offense, then you're kind of behind the times. But at some point, even if it is, say you have 0 other plays in your playbook other than RPOs, you can talk to your quarterback in the headset now. Tell him this is a handoff. This is a handoff. Stop trying to throw the football. And I'm not just talking about the interception. I'm talking about plenty of times before. Just hand the ball off to Hunter. He carried it 17 times this time, 12 in each of the previous losses. 17 still not enough. This is the type of offense right now where you need to be. Hunter needs to touch the ball 30 times a game. He
never really got stood up. Like every run finished moving forward. And I was like, God, he's just that leg drive. Every run was just like a sledgehammer.
Oh, and that's against Oklahoma's defense that you and I have talked a bunch this year. Borderline, if not fully elite. Like it is an elite talented defense. And again, Auburn gave up a few opportunities earlier in the game too. Like I don't know why we're running Sam Jackson and the Wildcat on 4th down at the goal line.
And that's right there where I was sitting. And they always talk. If you go back and watch that play, and they talk about people setting the edge. And I've heard Brent Venables talk about he always wants 2 people in every area, like to make a play. You can see number 30 Trace Ford go set the edge, and then Peyton Bowen, number 2, kind of comes in and he goes a little bit low, but I was sitting there, I was like, because even on that drive, should have been another interception. The ball that was kind of tipped and it was close to being intercepted. And I was like, you go back to think, man, they intercept that pass after that run by Michael Hawkins. Maybe they take a shot. Who knows? But then you have the juice and you go down and you get another 4th down. You think about OU Texas last year, 4th and goal in that area. I was like, okay. And then it just kind of went to a shell. But I didn't understand bringing him in at that point either. Why don't you just bring in an offensive lineman, put him in front of Hunter, turn around, hand it off, slam it right at him?
I know that I'm biased in this because I'm an Auburn fan, but Hunter is got to fall somewhere in the top 10 of running backs in the country. Like, he's that talented. He has been playing that.
James is not elite. Now, I'm going to preface this real quick. James, I know James. James is a massive Longhorn fan. But
makes sense.
he and I can actually talk ball. You know, we always joke and say, you're the only Texas fan I can actually talk football with. He's like, you're the only Oklahoma fan that I can talk football with. But he's a defensive minded guy. And he was one of those eat you up on the end kind of people.
Well, and again, borderline elite. Can we go there, James? Oklahoma has proven that. I think that you go, especially only giving up 25 to Tennessee, an offense who I think will probably be, when it's all said and done this season. And the future is so bright for Nico. You go, or that they come to you, you hold them to 25, and then Auburn going into that game. Auburn was second in the SEC in yards per play, second in the SEC in rush yards per attempt,
first in the country in explosive plays.
Ranked and from 20 to 30 to 30 to 40 and 40 to 50 yards, like we were all in the top 3 of that. And so what Hugh keeps saying, and he keeps getting kind of burned, like there's a good chance we could be 5-0, and he keeps getting burned for saying that. And I agree, woulda, shoulda, coulda is not how this game works. But he's right. We don't turn it over against Cal like that. Probably beat Cal. We don't turn it over against Arkansas. We probably beat Arkansas. And the defense is doing their damnedest to keep us in it. Gave up 448 or something like that to New Mexico State, but didn't show up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, don't look at the box score for the Oklahoma game, because you're still looking. It'll drive you mad because you're like, there's no way you should have lost that game. I mean, the time of possession difference,
outgained them 482 to 291.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now I want to ask you, did you see? I was talking with Andrew before. I saw it happening in the stadium, and it was late in the third quarter. I can't remember. Peyton Thorne made a bad throw, and Hugh Freeze literally just undressed him. And from that point on, Peyton Thorne seemed different.
Well, and I don't even know if it's is very specifically the throws that he's making, but I know that Hugh is having a problem getting Peyton to hand the ball off. And as I've told anybody that will listen to me, I've been screaming it from the rooftop. I understand that the shell may dictate pre-snap, this is going to be a throw. I understand that they are loading the box, that you're looking at the box and the box is dictating this is going to be a throw. I understand that the specific person that you're reading once the snap happens is dictating throw. But we are an offense right now that needs to be running the ball 30 times. Like it shouldn't matter. That's just where we are right now in Auburn. I know that we have receivers all over the field. Keandre Lambert-Smith is amazing. I know that he was good at Penn State last year, but I did not realize what we were getting when we signed him.
Can't believe they let him go.
Me either, especially with what he's been doing here. I mean, he's their leading receiver last year with 900-something yards. There's a good chance he ends up being our first 1,000-yard receiver in 30 years, maybe longer.
And Coleman's going to be good. He just got to get past the drops. I mean, when you see him, he's a prototypical, Sunday receiver. And
I told my dad I love that he wears number 8 because he looks like AJ Green to me, like the way that he moves, how long he is, Yeah. And yeah, I think right now he's got some confidence issues. There may be some, because it seems to be his issue is over the middle. Maybe some nerves crossing that lane. So yeah, I agree. I think he's great. I love Malcolm Simmons. Like all of so far, at least 2 out of the 4 have shown me that exactly the freeze 4, hype. I understand where the hype came from.
Sure.
Malcolm Simmons specifically, like that kid needs to touch the ball more. There's a lot of things going on that I think we as fans or reporters or commentators, whatever you want to, classify us as, I think that it's easy for us to see. And obviously we want to say, hey coach, what are we doing? But I don't know what's going on at practice. I don't know what the game plan is. Again, I'm so very aware that when it comes to the RPO game, that shell and box are dictating to throw the ball. And if it was not Peyton Thorne throwing the ball, maybe that is something that we do. But we also have a running back who, if we would just load it on him, put the team on his back, I think that it's just where you have to go. I don't care who, put all 11 in the box. Hell, put 22 in the box. I don't care. Hand it to Hunter.
I was surprised that they didn't do more single high safety. Well, as far as Auburn's defense, I was surprised they didn't do more single high safety. Load the box and say, "Okay, young man, you got to beat us." But I think that first possession, and I'm sure you saw it on TV. They were talking the ET's twist. It just kind of opened up for him, and he's got really, really good speed. But you watching, what did you think of Michael Hawkins? I know you've watched Jackson Arnold and this, but what did you think of Michael Hawkins making his first official start on the road in the SEC in a place like Auburn, to where, like I told everybody, the fans are going to be excited because they want to give you your first SEC road loss. They're excited to be the first SEC road game. And I'll tell you this, from what I saw, the way he kind of controlled the offensive line, whether he was calling out protections, he seemed very sure of himself. And he didn't seem like the moment was too big. And he made the best plays because he didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
He took a sack, lived to fight another, he had the one bad intentional grounding, which as soon as I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I got you. But what did you think of what you saw from the young true freshman?
I think I texted you that you guys found the quarterback. Maybe not forever, but at least for this season, I like his athleticism. I liked his decision making. That dot that put you within 5 was just beautiful. Like, couldn't have thrown it any better. As a matter of fact, after I was done cussing about it, I looked at my dad and that was a damn good throw.
That's coming right at me, and I see the ball go up, and I see Hester, and I'm like, he's got it. I'm going up and looking at the ball. He's got it. He got it. And then for the second game in a row, he's diving over the end zone and putting his body. I mean, it's, I saw a video from inside the locker room, and they're kind of like they did Mark Stoops in Kentucky. They're hoisting him up. I mean, and like, I feel bad for Jackson, and they're still going to need him. Jackson, and I watched a lot of what Jackson was doing on the sideline too. I wanted to see how he responded, and he was engaged. Like, he wasn't sitting over there sulking. There was one point it looked like he was actually getting ready to go in the game late in the game, because he was out there, and quarterbacks when they warm up, they're throwing. He was zipping it, trying to get that arm loose. It looked like. So he stayed engaged, and maybe he may end up in Mississippi State playing with Jeff Lebby because that was his guy. But no ill will towards JA, but it just, they respond to Michael Hawkins, and then after that, I mean, now it's a huge test coming up. You got 2 weeks to prepare for Texas, and he's from Texas. Played high school football in the area. He's going to know a lot of those guys, and there's going to be a lot of emotion in that game because his dad was a Sooner, everything. But for what he did, I don't really care about, and really, you can't count the plays, but the offensive pass interference that took that pass away to Bauer Sharp, our tight end, that was like a 45-yard gain. That's taken off. One of the touchdowns taken off. I will tell you this: Magoo's got to go.
Hey man, look, he's a baby too, And talking about Hawkins, I would say that the moment definitely was not too big for him, and so I think that you're probably safe when it comes to his emotions come Texas. But look, I watched Towns Magoo, and I know it's just A-Day, but 7 for 7 with like a 61-yard game winner in A-Day, right? Like, I think that the talent is there. We are kicker you, my friend. Like, kickers will be okay. But I do want McPherson to get healthy.
Well, McPherson's brother is the one that kicks for the Bengals.
Yes, sir.
And his parents have an RV next to my sister and brother-in-law. So yeah, it was fun. But so James,
did you get any? Go ahead.
He said, James asked, how long is the leash for the freshman quarterback? I also heard Arnold wasn't given full access to the playbook. And maybe that's so, because here's the thing about Jackson Arnold. His decision making has not been good. And that's he's got the athletic tools. But for wherever it is, he's not counting the box. I mean, you look at the Tennessee game, there's 8 guys in the box, and he's making the wrong reads, making the wrong calls. I don't know what it is, but Michael Hawkins reminds me a little of Baker in the fact that people are like, well, why are you coming here with Jackson Arnold here? Michael Hawkins came to Oklahoma to take that job.
Yeah.
As a competitor, he's like, I'm going to take that job. And, he trains with Kyler Murray's dad. So he's getting some fundamental training there. And he looked the part. He looked the part. Now, he didn't have 8 months of people dogging him after a bowl game where you had 6 turnovers like Jackson Arnold did. And maybe he was gun shy from that. But again, watching him being in the stadium, hearing how loud it was, watching how he controlled the huddle, controlled the offensive line. Like communication had been a bad part of that offense for a long time, but they really did a really good job. And like I said, he was still 10 of 15, 160 yards, no touchdowns, but he made the right plays and he showed his arm, and hopefully, they start to open up the playbook a little bit for him. Start getting some guys back. Like I said, 5 receivers out. You got, we're moving over a guy named Jacoby Johnson that was number 2 on the depth chart at corner, moving him to receiver. So it's a litany of things, but again, we're leaving the stadium and my son's like, I can't believe it, because he's even looking at me. He goes, it's not going real well. I was like, nobody, it's not going real well, but again, he's happy, yelling. And I will say this, I don't know if you saw it. I was a little disappointed in some of them running and like sticking the flag in the end zone.
I did not see that. No,
I was a little disappointed. I saw some of the guys carrying the flag and they looked like they were trying to go to midfield. One, I was like, no, that was a unique thing that happened. It happens during OU Texas all the time, but I guess you won the game, but you were dominated for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
You don't, I was a little disappointed in the team with that. Again, emotion. I get it. It's an emotional
SEC
game.
road game. Yeah. First SEC road game.
I was glad. Now did you see the video of the cheerleader taking out our guy?
Yeah, I did. Because I kept seeing it on Twitter before I ever saw it.
Well, I'm looking there. I'm watching it. Like I see it and I was going, holy shit. I was like, I didn't want one of our guys to get hurt that way because they're getting hurt every other way.
Right.
And I'm like, so I'm going to play a little clip for you because I know you've seen the movie. And it's kind of relative to what's going on. Because I'll play this clip, then I'm going to show you a picture and get your thoughts on it.
All
right, this is Mississippi State's offensive set. 2nd and 2 on our own 24. What defensive set might we call?
Eagle zipper hero, unless the setback shifts into the eye.
Good. 3rd and 7.
Okie Thunder Lion.
What's your assignment?
Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody.
There you go.
Kill everybody. And everyone's up in arms because Ryan Williams had this on his eye black.
People, it's just, people are so sensitive.
One, kudos to because everyone lets you know he's 17. Right. Kudos to the 17-year-old to actually know that quote from the program. Alvin Mack, kill everybody.
Well, and I'm imagine Ryan sat on the couch on plenty of non-football Saturdays and Sundays and got to watch that with his dad, is where that probably comes from. He also, I don't know if you saw this.
I saw the Michael Vick. To Michael Vick.
Yeah. Look, he's having a good time. And I know that, first off, social awareness, probably not a great look, right? Like, you kind of be a little more aware of what's going on. But at the same time, it's just sensitivity. It's just the way that the world is these days.
Like I said, I didn't have a problem. Now everyone's posting like Tim Tebow pictures with his scripture. I'm like, and I get it. Nobody should have had a problem with that. Nobody should have a problem with this. It's just that it's from a movie. Everybody calm down. But with that, who you got? If you had to pick Jeremiah Smith, the amazing freshman receiver at Ohio State, or the amazing freshman from the University of Alabama, Ryan Williams?
Jeremiah's killing it, and I love it. And I think that we're going to get to watch both of these guys play football for a really long time. But after what Ryan Williams has done to start the season, and after that play Saturday night, man, where he makes the catch, makes the two guys smack into each other, and then straight like he's the real deal. I think Joel Klatt was on the Next Round this week and said that kid could probably play in the NFL right now just because of his skill set at 17, and that's insane. And everybody keeps getting mad or irritated with being reminded how young he is, but I mean it's a feat. Like that's something to think about. Like he's a 17-year-old child.
And with marketing, if it was him that came up with it, kudos to him. But whoever came up to tag 4 + 2 = 6,
yeah,
brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant. And again, when is Heartline going to get a chance to coach? Because obviously he is recruiting the best receivers in the country. I mean, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Ibuka. Now you got Jeremiah Smith. I mean, they just keep churning out. And I'll say this. I'm still not sold on Will Howard.
Same.
But he's making some plays. Now, of course, when you got somebody like that and you've got Henderson and Judkins at your running back, you've got the keys to a really nice car. Just keep it in between the lines.
Right. Well, I mean, and it's kind of like you were saying about Hawkins. He didn't turn the ball over. Obviously, He's not playing with the cast that Howard is. But if you are keeping it in between the lines is a really great way to put it. And as long as he continues to do that, we're going to be talking about Ohio State, especially with the running game that they have. Again, I think we talked about it during the offseason, but Chip Kelly taking over the OC job over there was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going well. I think Ryan Day. What was shocking to me more than Chip Kelly taking an OC job after having a head coaching job, especially going into the same conference. More surprising to me is that I think that Ryan Day is one of the better play callers in the country. Are you hindering yourself by giving up that play calling duty? And so far, no. But I think as long as Will Howard keeps it in between the lines, we'll be talking about Ohio State for a lot of the year for sure.
Now, I haven't got your thoughts on this real quick. The whole Matt Saluka thing at UNLV. I like the sign that says, "Hey, Saluka, it's UNLV, not UNILV."
Yeah, that's good.
I have no problem with people being paid. I don't. I thought they should have been paid forever. Everyone's been making money off of them, but now the sausage, everyone can see how the sausage is being made. They're like, oh my gosh, there needs to be contracts, because if his agent only had a handshake agreement, where'd you go to law school and stuff like that? You can't have anything legally binding by a handshake. It doesn't work that way. Now, again, is that kind of slimy if that's the case? Yes, but you have to have a contract and make it hey, you have to stay here. Maybe that'll help the transfer portal. You have to stay here 2 years if you want this money. You have, something. And I don't know, again, the legalities, people way smarter than me, but who do you think was in the wrong here? UNLV or Sluka, his family, and his agent?
I think both sides are wrong on this. I think that I'm all about the athletes being paid. I think that just pulling the ripcord on it and allowing just this to happen the way that it has was a huge mistake. But with many things in life, with many things in life, I know that there is an answer. I don't necessarily have it. I think that contracts are the way to go for sure. That's at least like where we should start. You tell this kid, hey, this is going to happen. You sign here. You're here for as long as we need you to be here or desire you to be here, or whatever. I just, for now, I didn't play real life football. I played high school, right? But just being a part of a team like that, I don't understand how, regardless of what the situation is, unless you were personally wronged in such this like drastic manner, something traumatic happens. Like, I don't understand how you can quit on your team.
Right.
It's one thing if he finished the season and said, okay, this didn't work out for me, I'm leaving. That's one thing. We all understand how the transfer portal is going. That's one thing. But to quit on your team and you're undefeated, have a good chance at an outside chance at making it to the playoffs, doing something historic, and you quit on your team. I wish the best for my teammates. And now what? You're just not going to school too? There's just a lot that goes into it that I think Saluka's in the wrong for. Something clearly happened. We probably will never have the exact details about. Because one side says we didn't promise him that,
right,
and the other side said yes, they promised us this. So both sides are wrong. whatever happened, and we'll probably never know exactly what happened, but whatever happened was screwed up. And it sucks that this kid quit on his team, and it sucks that this kid didn't get what was promised to him, if there was something promised to him. It was just they flubbed it. It was a real swing and a miss, guys, for everybody.
Well, and it sucks because there's some OU connection there with Odom as the head coach, and there's a lot of people saying, hey, if Seth Luttrell can't get it done, maybe they need to bring that go-go offense to Oklahoma and see what they can do out there. But a couple things I know, big sports fan, we always talk about it, when we work together and stuff. 2 incredibly sad passings today. Dikembe Mutombo and Pete Rose.
Yeah, I saw Pete Rose right before I got on. I didn't see that until later, but Mutombo, yeah, and both of these guys before my time, as far as investing, but like any sports fan, you know these names, what they've meant.
Right.
I'm hoping that Pete finally gets, it sucks that it'll be posthumously, but like, can we talk about Pete Rose the way that he deserves to be talked about as one of the greatest to do it? And
right.
And screw the sports writers. Let's get him into the hall type of deal.
See, and that's the baseball writers. I don't understand, like the day of the old Skywriters tours and stuff like that. You're not traveling with the team. You're not, it's just like, again, I've never been a fan of, like when they took Reggie Bush's Heisman away. Everybody knew in 05 he was the best player in all of college football. You knew that.
Yeah,
you knew it.
To ever do it. Yeah.
And here's the thing: maybe don't put Pete Rose in as a manager, because if he was gambling as a manager, wrong. But as a player, what Charlie Hustle was about, it's sad, and it's sad that it may take his passing for it to happen. But Dikembe, I grew up watching, doing a little finger wag, and I remember watching the series when he was with the Sixers and Shaquille O'Neal, he was doing that drop step, and every time he drop step, he'd turn, and Shaquille's big old thick tricep, was just catching. It was like, you ain't stopping him. You ain't stopping him. But then it was bad. You had Professor McGonagall, Maggie Smith passed away, Chris Christopherson passed away. It's like, and I'll admit, I'm a big Harry Potter nerd. I love Harry Potter. And the fact that Maggie Smith passed away on the same day that Dumbledore passed away.
Yeah.
Just years apart. You've
seen a lot of fan art of them two. And
Robin Williams. Yeah.
We've lost a lot of great celebrities here of late. And obviously that sucks, but I don't know, they'll live on forever, which is awesome, especially when it comes to the guys from Harry Potter.
The sad one was when they showed her as Wendy in Hook.
Yeah.
And she was like, hello, boy. And you saw Robin Williams, hello, Wendy lady. And you're going, oh, God, I don't want to ugly cry in my car as I'm scrolling through TikTok, man. But it was like, but she was great. She was great in Sister Act.
Yeah.
She was great in, Downton Abbey. She was phenomenal. And Chris Christopherson, outside, even his songwriting, you go into what he did in the Blade movies. Like, I mean, again, just amazing. But any thoughts from the NFL yesterday?
San Francisco finally got a W again, which felt great.
My boy George with that catch, and it right around 3 people.
Dude, first off, just that thing, man. Have you seen all the stuff going on with Christian with the Achilles tendonitis now in both legs? I don't know what the hell that it is or feels like, but I can't imagine good. And I don't know that we're going to see him this year. The way that it keeps it, just every week there's something new that comes out that just I don't know that we're going to see him. But to have Debo back yesterday, and to have
I got George back.
George back was huge. Fred Warner may be the best player in football.
He's pretty damn good.
I mean, from the middle linebacker position, he's by far the best at that position. Like his intensity, his speed, his athleticism, his intelligence, his ability to force turnovers. I think he's forced a turnover in like 12 straight games or some crazy thing like that. Hey, man, I told you you got the best quarterback in the draft. I told you.
Look, I'm cautiously optimistic. Okay, I wanted to again. The Oklahoma guys were playing yesterday. Saw Baker go out there and dice up Philadelphia. Baker looked great yesterday,
I'm
and
loving
then
this
I'm
for
like,
Baker. Loving all this for Baker.
and then the Commanders playing the Cardinals. So to watch Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then they just they're scoring, and Cliff Kingsbury is making the calls, doing such a good job for Jaden Daniels. Daniels is a threat running. I hope it doesn't end up like RG3, but Eckler was out, but you still had Robinson. Terry McLaurin looks like he's having fun again playing football,
Yep.
which is big because I was afraid we were going to lose him. But yeah, it's Washington's in first place in the NFC East,
which is
Wouldn't have
awesome.
thought it. Well,
Awesome.
love it, and get. Dan Quinn does a good job, but it's like it's still Washington, but it's the new atmosphere, the new ownership, the new everything. So it was good to see Jane Daniels.
And you stole my guy that I wanted to replace John Lynch.
They showed him on the side. I almost took a screenshot and sent it to you yesterday because they showed him standing over on the sideline with Jane Daniels, and they're like, "Yeah, he came over from San." I was like, "Yeah,
and
that's the guy."
And I have credited him. I mean, look at what San Francisco has built. Speaking of George and Fred and Debo, all of these guys taken outside of the first round, and the majority of the guys that are major impact players for us. I mean, I think other than Trent, obviously you guys took, but Trent and Nick Bosa are our only two major first round contributors. Oh man, both of those guys. San Francisco
Bosa is just so good.
I think we've talked about this before, but this feels like if San Francisco doesn't get at least 2 Super Bowls out of this roster, which we won't, there's no way we keep this team together for much longer than it already has been. It's even if they say San Francisco wins the Super Bowl this year, I think it's still maybe the biggest waste of a roster that's ever existed. Or it's way up there with the Bills of the 90s and the Eagles and the 2000s. Where that team is good, that they're going to get there, that they have an opportunity, and they just can't get over the hill. My biggest fear is that we Andy Reid Kyle Shanahan, because I think that he's one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in the league, and I hope that we don't get tired of just making it to where because
he goes somewhere and then wins 4.
Yeah, he goes to his Chiefs and gets his Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, man, honestly, and then especially with Jaden Daniels there. Gotta be mad. But speaking of quarterbacks, can we just love on Brock Purdy a little bit, dude? I get so tired of
he's
sports
getting ready to make himself some money,
and he deserves it.
He's getting ready to make himself some money.
Last year, it was sometime week 6 or so last year where I finally went, you know what, this cat's real, because I just had this when is the shoe going to drop? When is it going to?
I was wrong on him. I'll admit I was wrong on him because I saw him multiple times play against Oklahoma in the Big 12, and he had a propensity for throwing interceptions in bad spots.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I didn't believe it, but you get in that system now. You believe in yourself. You got guys like Debo and Ayuk,
he's currently leading the league in passing yards, leading the league in passing yards downfield, leading the league in yards per attempt. Let's drop this check down bullshit, and then also making plays outside of the pocket. I think he's leading the league in passes outside of the pocket right now. He made a joke during his press conference. I think that my 10-yard split is faster than Christian's and Devo's. Y'all can check that, but I think that it is. And it doesn't shock me because is he going to break a 70-yard run? No, not at all. But can he get you 5-10 yards
right,
in a quick burst like that? Absolutely. He's strong. George has talked about his quads a bunch. Said that they've looked like that since he's a rookie.
And George to talk about his quads.
No joke. That dude is one of my favorite humans on the planet. He talked about Baker and having fun playing football. George may beat Baker when it comes to having fun playing football.
Put them two on the same team. Good Lord.
Oh, it would mic them both up. made for TV.
It would be awesome. Man, AJ, I appreciate you taking time out of your money to come on. I've got to get ready to get off here so the Golden Boot can come on. But again, from an Oklahoma fan, getting to experience Auburn this weekend, from Oklahoma fan to Auburn fan, thank you guys, because y'all won my kid over. He had The Ben's pretzels. Why didn't you tell me about Ben's pretzels, you jackass?
Oh,
Those
before
are the.
before
Oh
we
my
get out of
god!
here, talk to me a
Those
little bit more about the food.
Ben's pretzels were fucking amazing. Not like your typical, stadium pretzel, the dried out hard one hanging in the hook, and they squirt water on it and dip in the salt. No, these are fresh, hand twisted, thick. They had a nice little crisp on the outside, chewy in the inside. You didn't need any cheese or anything like that to dip it in. It was just a phenomenal freaking pretzel. And then, of course, I try to tell people, hey, you can go down, and I love what they're doing with the walkthrough. Like you just walk and grab your stuff, you sit on the thing, and it scans everything for you. Get you a couple Kaneka sausage hot dogs, cold one, and you're good to go. Good to go. But
Did you walk by the Mama G's in the stadium? Did you happen to see that?
I didn't see it in the stadium because where we were at, we were in section 36, but we were right there by Mama G's on campus, and we looked at the line. I was like,
A little popular. It's a little popular.
And for good reason. The beef and cheese, man, it's where it's at. But the Ben's pretzels in there, man. Oh, that's the best stadium pretzel I've ever had in my life.
Did you go salt or sweet? Because you can do the
salt.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, we just did the salt, but yeah, it was phenomenal. But yeah, again, just all around great atmosphere. Watching them do the swag surf to start the fourth quarter. Of course, we got a kick out of it. The band playing Taylor Swift. Just everything. It was a great. And even after the game, people, hey, congratulations on the win. Hope you enjoyed Auburn. Looking forward to seeing you guys back. I mean, didn't have anybody who was a jerk or anything like that. And it was just my wife enjoyed it. She's like, I've always loved going to Auburn. She used to come down there for swim meets and stuff when she was swimming. And, I told my sister, I said, I knew you loved coming down here. I understand why you come down here now. I mean, it was like we're riding around on the golf cart. People, it's that I go back to University Station. I know I got to get out of here, but University Station, there's kids riding their bikes all through the place. People are walking their dogs. There's people on golf carts. Everybody, my sister's like, that's, Bob and Tiffany over there. And that's Sam. And like, they know everybody. It's one of those, nobody locks their stuff. They had like an outside, screened in lanai built to watch games and stuff like that. And I'm hanging out with the dog. I mean, like it was amazing. And I swear if I could get seed money, I would open up a university station at every university. I've never seen anything like it. I know people there's at Oklahoma, all the RVs go to the Lloyd Noble Center where the basketball arena is, but it's not like that. That is a community. It is. They got buses that come and pick you up. And of course, I get on the bus with me and my family. We're all in OU gear. We get on this bus from the RV place, all orange. All orange, and they're looking at us. And I had to hold my hand up so they could see that I had the wristband. I'm like, no, I'm staying here. I'm good.
I'm allowed to be here.
I'm allowed to be here. But then everybody was just, like I said, just fantastic. And you and I have talked, the history and tradition of the SEC is one of the things that I'm really excited about, getting a chance to experience and for games like for Oklahoma and Auburn, I've always enjoyed the SEC period, but now getting to see, my people, my guys and stuff come around here. And like I said, won my kid over. He loved Auburn. I told my sister, I was like, that might become my second favorite team right there, just because of how everything went that weekend. But kudos to you guys, man. I hope you guys, you're still a dangerous football team. Still a dangerous football team. I know I won't be surprised if they get one of those. I won't be surprised.
I don't expect to beat Bama or Georgia, but I think that we should, the way that the defense is played, the way that the offense is played, other than turnovers, I think that we should be in most games going forward. But if we can't continue to make those crucial mistakes like that.
No,
obviously.
No, not at all. AJ, I appreciate it, brother. As always, man, go enjoy some Monday Night Football, and we'll holler at you later.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. AJ has my dude, and really well versed in football. I apologize for all the technical errors at the beginning. I'll try to edit those out when I put the clips together. But again, thank you for everybody. Harry James Taylor, man, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you in this chat, man. I hope you come back. Harry, I've known Harry for a long time. He was out in Oklahoma. Matt, answer your question. Minus the South Carolina game, does Kentucky have a top 4 defense in the SEC? Absolutely, without question. And that game just got away from them, I think, because, again, with a good defense, offense put their defense in a bad situation there. That's all. That's all. But, guys, again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to participate in the chat. I love talking ball with everybody. Everybody have a good Monday. Enjoy the rest of Monday Night Football. And I will see you Friday night. I didn't do one last week because I was in Auburn, but a Friday night, a football Friday night preview. Well, I'll give them a 6 or 6 picks, talk about the biggest games. I'll talk a little bit about UAB, what's going on down there with Trent Dilfer. They played Tulane. I'll be at that game, covering that game live at Protective Stadium. So again, everybody, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us talk sports. But remember, guys, to always positively move forward.
Sports Bytes with your host, Chris Joseph. We hope you've enjoyed the game day stories and culinary adventures. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you've got any mouth-watering sports-related tales or favorite game day recipes, share them with us on social media. Until next time, remember, it's not just about the game. It's about the bites that make it unforgettable. Stay hungry for more Sports Bytes.